few years ago I was walking through the Ethiopian highlands, and I was really on a holiday with a guide and a donkey, and I spent a couple of weeks walking at 3,500 metres, and I was absolutely astounded by the level of poverty, and so much of the poverty was because of having absolutely no water. People were dirty, the children weren't able to go to school, children were sick, and I felt really strongly that I could no longer just give my money to an overseas aid organisation and hope that someone else would take the responsibility of being active in that space. So my husband wasn't there. I rang him when I could get connection, and I rang him and said, what if we just took the money that we would normally spend on overseas aid over a couple of years and we spent it in a village, and we really saw what they wanted. We asked them, and I think it's going to be water, but what if we asked them and we spent it, and what if someone's life got better? Wouldn't that be great? And wouldn't that be great to show someone on the side of a mountain at 3,500 metres above sea level in this really cold, forbidding place, that someone in a country that they'll never go to actually cares about them? And so that first we were thinking, okay, so maybe it would just make life better for just one family, even just one human being would be great. And when I went back, after 12 months, the chief of the village came to see me, and he ran down the side of the mountain when he saw me coming. He ran down the side of the mountain and he put his hand out, because it wouldn't be culturally okay to give me a hug. So he put his hand out and he said, welcome, you're back. And I have never seen the village so happy. And it changed a whole village. And then I say, look, it'll be done in 6 to 8 weeks. So maybe, there's going to be workmen here, the contractors will be here, they're going to be employ some of them in the village. And so, sorry, just 6 to 8 weeks. And when they find out that it's such a short time, like the relief on their face, you could just reach out and touch it, it's amazing. Just, wow. It's just one big thing they don't have to worry about anymore. It's amazing. It's not very much to ask if one of the things that can give you a really much better life is to have clean water, because as soon as you have clean water, you can go to school. You are well. And when I look at the children there, they're so small, and a lot of them are so malnourished. 50% of malnutrition across the world is caused by poor water supply that causes gut disease. 30% of the world's schools have nowhere to get a drink, nowhere to go to the toilet, and nowhere to wash your hands. And if we have the ability and the resources to do something about it, then I think I need to take on some of that responsibility. And I need to show my children and my grandchildren, and to give them a choice about how a woman can be, and also about when we see what our world is like, when we see how we sit in that world, where our wealth, for example, places us amongst the people of the world, then what are we going to do with that knowledge? We might choose to do nothing, but the other choice is to take some responsibility and actually do something about it. But it wasn't easy to take that leap of faith and to think, I'm in someone else's country, I'm in someone else's village, I'm this very short white person, and well, I'll just go for it. I'll just be brave, and what's the worst thing that can happen? There isn't really a worst thing. But as it is, 5 years later, that well is still going, and people are really happy, and kids have put on weight, they're a little bit fuller in the face. The attendance rates at the local school have gone crazy, and people don't have to worry about giving their kids water to drink anymore. How cool is that? And when I go back, I get great stories. One night I went back to a very small village, and it's cold and it's in an area where my tent freezes overnight. So as soon as the sun starts to go down, it's freezing, and I was walking down a hillside to see the well, and there was a lady there, and she had 2 little girls, and they were getting the water for their household. And she walked up to me and she put her arms around me and she said, you know, I just can't thank you enough, and everything's clean now. My clothes are a different colour when I wash them, and this water's so nice to drink, and it's so nice to cook with. But the best thing is that I used to always worry every time my kids wanted a drink. I would worry because I'd give them the water and I'd think I'm going to make them sick, and it might not be today and it might not be tomorrow, but sometime I'll make them sick. And now with this clean water, I give them all the water they want. They never get sick anymore. They go to school and I just don't have to worry. And when I hear stories like that, what can I do? I have to keep going. I owe it to her, and I owe it to her children. She's my sister.